Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of TimberPunk 2, where Bad Tide is approaching, and we're not quite ready for it. We are running low on water, and we're running into a food snafu. We have food, they're just not pulling it out fast enough, so that's causing quite a bit of an issue for us. So I'd like to get that rectified sooner rather than later. Now, we're not in dire straits yet, I don't think. And I remembered something that could potentially cause an issue for us. These two gear workshops. They pull a lot of power. And if you're pulling a lot of power, the aquifer drill doesn't do much. So that's why we haven't been seeing as much water pumping out of this aquifer over here. So I'm going to pause those for now. Anyway, saving those two bodies means we can get a few more beavers into Hull, which in theory should help out with some of our farmhouses, getting those guys up and running. I do want to put in our fluid dump on this side, which is what I was intending to do with that bad Johnny right there to get that platform in there. Completely neglected to finalize that plan so we can keep all of this irrigated even if and when this side dumps or drains out. I don't really want to put one on this end because we have a dam there. Now, I could put in and I should honestly put in a floodgate so we can have this maxed out as much as possible instead of it being 0.67 or 0.69, whatever the measurement is there. But that's for future time, Shadow, to worry about. And I think what we're going to do is also we're going to pause a couple of these. We only need 500 power right now to get the number cruncher up and running. And I also need to give these guys access to this side. And I want to do an additional thing, which is come in here and we're going to take advantage of Mr. Disturb Simulation's wonderful comment. Let's rip all of this out, and we're going to put in a lot of washer wheels in here so we can take advantage of the bad tide, which we have one approaching, and not have to be heavily reliant on water going into here, which is not conducive to the survival of our beaver population, because we like to have water and we like to have food, which obviously we're kind of limited on. Additionally, we have all this real estate over here that I want to take advantage of. So we're going to come over here. We're going to rip out all of these lumberjack flags, and we're going to place in another system kind of like this over here, because we aren't into the bad water production line of things yet. We are working our way there. We've got the metal blocks. We could probably get in a couple bad water pumps and get that up and running, but we don't have the science yet because, well, our science machine is kind of in a pause right now. So we are going to see how this goes, and I'm thinking that we should be fine. And if we do have a few spare beavers, I would like to get in here and rip out a little bit more of this. We've got some water back in here. I'm not sure if that's going to be a concern for us, but we can rage against that machine one way or the other and try to get some things pulled out of there. All that to be said, we're going to go ahead and hit that play button. We've got 3 times speed up and running. This is now running properly, so now all of that water should fill this little reservoir up a little bit more, so we should have a little bit more water in reserve when this bad tide kicks off. Now, we do have these 3 guys in here pumping, so that can get our water stores up a little bit more, which will be very beneficial to us, and that will save us any potential future heartache. Berries are popping in though, so that is good for us. And I realized while I was looking around that this gatherer flag can't really reach all of those berries up top there. So we're going to go ahead and see about putting this guy in somewhere in a better spot. Or maybe we just have another gatherer flag right there. Maybe swap between those 2 positions and that'll be fine. Now, this is still filling in, but it's not filling in quite as well as I would like it to. Just making sure that our network supply isn't exceeding what we need. I'm going to pull these guys up to 20 hours, though, because I do want as much water stored up as beaverly possible to mitigate any future water shortages, because we need this water pumped out, and how. All right. We have 2 builders in here, and we are missing a couple beavers, probably from our hauling post, which is not what we want to see. And we do have a beaver that is not in a living domicile, which is kind of stinky, but something that we'll deal with at a later date. I'm not too concerned with that right now. We'll fix that later. I think we could probably pause this guy. There's no need for you to be pulling that stuff. We need haulers more than we need anything else. And we need water and food more than all of that. I do want to prioritize you by haulers, though, and I would like to also prioritize you by haulers so that you're not having to run and move all of your foodstuffs to the storage elsewhere. And there goes Oliver Kohlrabi. Really quickly, which is not the greatest. Now, I think cassavas are pulling in now, so that's fine. I kind of want to... I don't know. I'm at a I don't know stage right now. Water is doing a little bit better. We've got about 10 days worth of water available to us, and that should be, in theory, good enough, hopefully. Let's see how this is coming along. I do want to pull this back up, and I think I need to pull this down over here because this is going to be consuming a lot of our materials, which we don't want to be consuming right now. We do have a spare beaver, so I'm going to get another one into the hauling post there, and that should be pretty good for us. Go ahead and rip these guys out because they don't need to be there, and that will be a grand. And there is our bad tide. We are no longer needing to feed this aquifer drill. We're going to pause the game for half of a second just to take stock. We have 800 units of water. We have 16 days in our bad tide, and we've got a fair amount of water in here to pull from. That's going to eradicate a fair portion of our stuffs back here, which isn't the greatest. We'll have this filled in, so that'll keep our foodstuffs good and ready on this end. But I think what we're going to do is rip that out. We're also going to rip out this path here, rip that out right there. We are going to go ahead and prep for our farmstead on this side, which is going to look a little something like that. And we are also going to do platforms right here, here, platforms right there. And that should be nice and simple. Rip this path out. Gonna hit the play button. I don't need them paused for this, I think. Hopefully. Yeah. Oh, game. Hello, game. Hello. Alright. Game has caught up with itself. Okay. Let's see here. I want water storage there. I would like a fluid dump here. And then we want 2 of our farmhouses right here and here. And I think we want to gain access to that backside like that, which we do have access to now. And that should be good. We have 900 units of water, which is more than enough to meet our 10-day requirement. We can pull these guys back a little bit. These guys will pump out what's remaining in here, and we will go ahead and hit the button there to get those in there. However, we're going to just plus those 2 up because I'd rather builders right now than anything else. This should get up relatively quickly, and now we can think about removing all of this stuffs in here. All right. So that is simple. We'll go ahead and delete that as well, and we're going to tackle this compact water wheel system. I think we want to start on this side and just run this like so. And this all the way back here. I think maybe right here will be the best. Hopefully, maybe, potentially. That means that we need to connect that right there. Connect this right there. We also need to place a couple of those right there. And rip that across like such as. And I think that will be a good thing for them to work on for now. But I do kind of want to give them this as a priority. I would like to have that in yesterday. This should stay up, even though this drains out as we continue to drain this side out. And we can pause these three since they are no longer actively doing anything productive with their hands. We're going to swap you to cassava because all of that is right there. And that's a better foodstuff supplement than kohlrabi are on any day. And we can unpause you two and get gears up and running because we will need gears. Or not, actually. You guys can slap that, but I want to get all of that built. And again, we do have a couple more beavers with nowhere to live. So... where do we want to put them? Housing... here. Not pretty, but it'll work for now. That'll be fine. And additionally, I want to have them empty these warehouses out. I want to move all of this. That one's empty. That one's empty. That one's empty. That needs to be emptied. That will be good. Food is looking a little bit better. Water is not in the best of spots, but we are staying in the positive, which is a positive, which means we should be able to survive the rest of this drought, or bad tide, sorry, without too much consternation. We could probably even pause this guy soon-ish. That's not going to really do much for us because we're already on the last 10th of a tile-ish, which is going to pull all the water back into here, which means we'll only save what's left on this back end, which is not the greatest, but it will do. We'll keep some of our kohlrabi up and running, and this side will stay good for a couple more days, which means we'll get a little bit more foodstuffs out of there. But that also means that we should be able to get these guys, this up and running relatively quickly. Now, can you guys not get yourselves stuck this time? That would be great. And let's go ahead and max that out priority-wise. I want you to come pick that up. Thank you. And the same for those logs, because that's a lot of logs right there that I don't want to be loosed. Lost? Lose? Lost. Lost. That's the word. That's how we speak the English language around here. Theoretically. Okay. Food is still not doing good, though. We are sitting on a bunch of kohlrabi. Maybe I just need to only have these two just focus on one food. And that be it. I'm not entirely sure why we have 4 beavers working a relatively small plot of land, and they can't seem to get all this foodstuffs out of there, which is not the coolest. Okay. We are coming up on the 10-day mark, though, so that is fine. We should have enough water for 10 days right now. How are we doing building-wise? Why are you in here doing that? We throw that in, please. Thank you. I can't believe I did that. I can believe I did that. Because I do silly, ridiculous things at times. Alright, you guys get pulled down to 1 and 1. Probably go ahead and start planting some of our kohlrabi as well. And then we want cassava on this side. You guys can work on that. That should not cause any more problems for us. And that means that we can unpause this now. And now we have access to all of that back there as well. And that means that we can put in more... I want to do more cassava. We're gonna rage against the cassava machine. Get all of that in here. That, again, has the better return on investment for us in the long haul. Theoretically, that's how that's supposed to work. Anyway, cool. That's all empty. This is all empty. These are nearing completion on the emptiness. Did I not have a good enough place for all that to go? I did, which means that should go in. We have 7 beaver positions going unfilled. That's all of our hauling positions, which is not good. Alright, let's go ahead and pull this back down to 2. I need to put 1 beaver in there. Let's not put anybody in there. Let's get this running because I want to save our trees. I think we can pause you for a little bit. And I don't want to pull any of those guys out. We can probably pause the gear production for a few minutes. I'm not too concerned about that. Metal blocks, we're going to pause that for a few seconds as well. I want to get this up and running, which means putting a focus on all of this, which they are working on and hopefully not getting themselves stuck anywhere. I am going to pause those two just because they do like to do ridiculous things, like get themselves stuck. All right. Can we reach both of these? We can. I want to give this a priority bump over that side. And those two those two a priority bump over this stuff getting completed. This should be enough power to get this moving again so we can get science in a positive direction. I want to pause you because I want to keep a little bit of this water in here. We can keep a little bit more of this green. We did rescue all of this, so our berries are in a positive direction, positive spot. Pausing you for now, as well as you, because we have more than enough water in here to meet the demand there, and we can start thinking about producing a little bit of soybeans back here. Can you guys reach all that? You cannot. We'll just go ahead and pull that out. A little bit more soybeans in there, and then I think that means that we can start thinking about corn rations. We need... Oh, wait, did I do soy? I did do soy. I need canola for the soy. Let's do a strip of canola here. That means we're going to need a place to put all that. And we're in a bad food spot again. Can you guys, like, do something better over here? Like, why are we having such an issue getting all this kohlrabi? Why are you working on kohlrabis and not getting the cassava, which is your prioritized source? And can we do that? Please? Please and thank you? Okay. And we had a population boom. Where did we lose? We're having a weird population boom and bust. Not entirely sure what's causing that. But now we can fill out all of those positions. We can fill this position out as well. And those are already maxed out. And that will be great. And we have 2 spare beavers to get back into here. Where did we... I'm genuinely confused as to where those 6 beavers came from. We have 36 beavers. We have enough water for 5 days. Not even 5 days. Okay, you're unpaused. Okay, let's get that in here. Get this in here. I'm gonna pump that out. Make sure those are paused. They are. You guys don't need water, and you get some of that water out of there. Okay. Max that out. Food should be going in a green direction here shortly. All of this does need to be picked up because that expires in 10 days. What are we doing on all of this? They did get all of that in. Give them a priority to come clean this up because I want to get that lumber out of there. And now that this is in, we can connect this portion right here. And they should be able to reach and smack those two, which they haven't done quite yet. I would like them to get that knocked out. I have so many flooded buildings. What is... Oh. Where did all this come from? Holy Toledo, Batman. What is that? That's a lot of hate. That's a lot of bad water. A lot of bad water trains. Holy moly. How did I never do that? That is insane. I'm distracting myself. That's not a concern for us. I don't think. Hopefully. Unless there's a random explosive in here that's going to cause a problem, because that's just going to spill out into the middle of... You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that were a thing. I would not be surprised at all if that were a thing. Nope. Not surprised in the least. Oh, I am now afraid for the future. Very much afraid for the future. All right. That'll get connected. I'll provide an 176 horsepower. Kind of want to put this on a dam, actually, or not a dam, a levee. Put a levee here. Give this a priority bump. Water, we're doing okay. We're surviving. Food is in a better spot now that we've got this up and running. It's in a lot better spot, so I'm very happy about that. I think we're solid. We're good. We don't need to be too concerned about the next 2-3 days. That's enough water to last a couple of days. I'm not upset about that. We're not consuming any water anywhere else. So that is good. We can go ahead and connect this up right there, and then we can do the same right here. Give these two a priority bump. Get that knocked out, and then we can also tack that in right there, and they can get those connected. And that'll be glorious. How long do you guys have? 7.5 days until you guys expire. All right. I think what we need to do 1000% is get this aquifer drill in here. That needs to happen. And it needs to happen now. We also need to put an engine on here. Yep. Yep. We need this filled up. Because that was clearly not enough pumping out of there during the temperate cycle to fill this up, especially with the amount of beavers we had in there pumping that out. I feel like we should probably get a few more beavers in here pumping this out just so we can meet the demand for the future. But we're doing better on kohlrabi now. We're doing better on cassava. We have our canola coming in here soon. We need to get somebody in here to dump a little bit more water in there, because that will drain out here in a little bit due to evaporation. That is okay. I need to pause you, put this in, give this a priority bump, and let them keep raging against that machine. We have a day left. That means we pause you to... Not today. We have a day left. What am I doing? A day left. We'll have to remember to pause that. And I want them to slap that in there. And this needs to get max priority. We should have all the materials on hand to meet the demand there. Okay. This is doing better-ish. I want to put that in right there. We should have a beaver or two available to run that appropriately. Sweet. Now I just need to go ahead and connect this right here. And then connect this along right there as well, so that everything gets connected on this end. Probably sneak in a few more of the water wheels into this spot and a few more over here. But I'm okay with where we're at right now. What are you working on? You had access to this, which is why you didn't tell me that you were bored. Which is fine. Alright, pause you two. Get that water moving. We need this connected. Get this water moving as well. It's perfectly timed, and we need to get all of this up and running right now. And I need to connect this up. Like yesterday. Connect it. Connect it. This is max priority. Come over here. Smack this, please. This will be water stuffs for now, which is good. I can't believe I didn't get this connected over here, though. I can believe I didn't get this connected. Because I do goober things sometimes. I do apologize to anybody who's like, why haven't you reconnected to the water system and gotten the water system up and running? To which I have no answer. Other than I made an ubu. Okay. Can we get this connected, please? Thank you. That's in, that's in. That slapped now? Game? Please? Autosave? You'll be the death of me. Okay. We lost a few of our blueberries. Lost more than a few, actually. That's not good. Replant. I don't know if that really counts. But we will get all of that pumping out of there. We are filling this in, which is great, which means we have more water potential stored up in here, which is fantastic, which is what we want to see. And now we should have all of this connected. And we're still not meeting the demand. That needs to get built. Too far from district. Cannot be reached. Can we not build stuff out of order, me? Come on. Get this unpaused. That should feed this system and get that working properly. There it goes. Now that should start pumping water a little bit more aggressively. Get that connected there. Now it's all blue. Max priority that. I swear I know how to play this game. This isn't my first rodeo. All right. Hopefully we don't have a min-tempered cycle, because that would be awful. We have not caught up from the shenaniganery caused by this last bad tide. The water is moving in a positive direction. Again, I want to get in here and pump some of this water out. We also need a place to store all of the canola here as well. That is fine. Food's doing pretty good now, though, so that is good to see. We're doing much better on berries. We're doing much better all across the board, I think. All right, there we go. 1150 out of 245. Can you guys build? Can I get all required material? Oh my goodness. Am I out of logs again? There's no way I'm out of logs. There. How did I run out of logs? I know how I ran out of logs. Oh my goodness. I am losing my mind. Okay. So 8-day cycle, which is fine. Do want to get in more water storage though. Means taking advantage of this area over here. Grabbing this, copying that over to these three. We should have all the materials on hand to build all of that without too much consternation. We can pause you. No need to be burning our water there. All of that is officially connected now. And now we are pumping all of the water out. This should start spilling over here soon-ish. And rescuing all of that material on that side. This is all very full, so we'll have plenty of water to pump from for this bad tide that's coming up. So that is good to see. That is great to see. And now we have more water storage going in, which is going to be great for the next iteration. Now, this went in, so we don't have any more beavers that are currently homeless, which is grand. We'll go ahead and rip all of that out so we can get a little bit more of our real estate back over here. And we'll think about what to do with all of these guys. Don't feel as though that we need to have you in there. I do need to get somebody to help rip these trees out though, because that will be a requirement. We rip those guys out, so none of this is getting chopped down. Now that that's in, that should take care of that. We'll pull that down so we can get a few more haulers in position to take care of the hauling jobs for us. You had one tree remaining up there. I don't want to pause you. Hey, we have all this real estate available to us now, which is good. We are at 1,000 units of water now, so that is even better. We have 500 things of food. This is finally spilling over, which means all of this is getting irrigated again, which is awesome. We love to see that. Water is still progressing in a positive direction. This is good. We are in a lot better spot than we were at the beginning of this episode. And all this got completed. Sweet. That is actually really fantastic. Cool. And science is moving in a positive direction. We have 2,000 units of science available to us. So let's go ahead and do two things. Be ridiculous and expand our beaver population. Yet again. By a little bit. Not too much. And we're going to go ahead and break into our bad water system. So deep bad water pump words. There's the beginning of our that tide. This one's shorter than the last one, so that is nice. Go ahead and put all of that into position. We need to get lumber moving because that's not good. We need to get you turned back on. We need to pause you 3 because we do not need that whole problem again. This should be enough water for our purposes moving forward. This is good. Total power requirements all across the board there. We need metal blocks running again. We're good on planks for now. I do think I have 1 plank manufacturer going, so that is fine. You do not need to be filled. Yeah, we need to save that lumber. That is fine by me. We could probably get 1 beaver in there. Keep working the rest of that space back here. How are we doing on all of this back here? Doing pretty good. We're making good progress back to that, so that is good. I'm still shocked by this. Where was that? This huge river of bad water. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Sorry, that baffles me. It makes my brain hurt. I'm very concerned that probably is going to have some negative dire effect to our entire beaver population, which I'm not looking forward to. Okay, I'm not looking forward to it at all. Where can we steal a beaver or 2? Don't know. Don't know. But we do have the additional breeding pod in, so that is going to be good. We probably need to start thinking about putting in more housing for them somewhere. You don't have a place to store any of your bad water because I didn't build the bad water storage tanks. Means that you get ripped out now, and we put in a bad water storage tank right here. And we pause you, and we also probably pause you. We need the beavers for the hauling purposes right now. We will get 4 beaver positions back as soon as they empty the rest of this out, but we have 1.5k units of water, which is fantastic, which is glorious, which means we are in a much better spot than we were before, which makes me very happy. Very, very, very happy. Cool. Now, what do we need for irrigation barriers? Sparkly planks. Sparkly planks require pine, which requires a tap shack, and our pine not getting eradicated by our lumberjack flags. We do have this piece of real estate available to us back here. We also have a few explosives available to us right here. We have 3. We have 3 explosives that we could take advantage of right now, in theory. And that could blast this out and fill this side in for us. And we'll just put a couple of platforms over top of this so we can maintain access to all of that back there. And that in turn irrigates all of this for us in the future, which would be great. We don't even put a platform there. We just put a dam there so that when we start... Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. But we do have the power now and this real estate over here already reclaimed. So let's think about tapping into all of this. We do have the water now too. And I think we don't have the logs or the gears of the planks for this. We have the metal blocks-ish. Don't have the logs. We have plenty of logs available to us, though. We just need to get beavers into position to do that. We should have the capacity to do so, and there's plenty of lumber all over the place back here. You don't have anything to do because I didn't tell you what to do with your hands, which means you get to do all that right there, which you should be able to reach all of that. Then we can come in on this side, put that right there, pull this back here. We put in another lumberjack flag right there. Now we rip all this out. Plenty of lumber back here. Just a matter of getting to it in a timely fashion. Now, we could build another irrigation pond over here and then put all of our stuff around that as a stopgap while we wait for the end of this bad tide, which is an option for us. I don't have a problem with that. Aside from the fact that that consumes a lot of lumber, but we're kind of fixing the lumber issue right now, so I'm not too concerned about that. Science is still cranking out though, so that is good. Okay, I think we can unpause these two. We can bring them back up to a regular build priority. Let's think about where we can find a few more beavers. There's 4 right there. 4 beavers right there, no longer occupied. They can go do hauling things as well as building things. But I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. Food is in a positive spot. Water's in a positive spot. We have power reconnected properly so we don't miss out on 3 days worth of a temperate cycle because somebody forgot to click a button. Somebody's a goober. And we should be a lot better off this next temperate cycle. Theoretically. I'm going to build into that. And what is our total power production right now? 1,700 and we'll call it just 1,700. That is with all of those compact water wheels running. None of our engines running right now. The moment those engines pop off, that's an additional 400 horsepower. Okay. Go ahead and pause that so they don't start dumping materials in there that we don't need to have going into there quite yet. I'll get this one thrown together relatively quickly. We can rip this out. Don't need that in that spot. So we can unpause you so we can get that one last tree out of here, which I didn't mark for cutting. Now it's marked for cutting. Now we're working on getting all of this out of here. We could get somebody to demolish all of this stuff just because it's in the way for future projects. Don't tear out that tree. I like that tree where it's at. You have more lumber coming in, so that is good. You are bored now, so you can go back to hauling, and that'll be good for your life. Great. Beautiful. How do we want to run this power? We can run the power up and over onto this plateau here, which isn't a bad idea. Let's go ahead and start getting into industry like that. You don't need to be running. Stop it. Still have 6 days remaining. Still not happy with this. Okay, so I want to fill this up with explosives. So we're going to do that. We're going to get into landscaping. We're going to unlock the explosives factory. Yes. We're going to unlock dynamite. Now, just because we can. And then on top of that, we're going to come into our water and we're going to hit this centrifuge button here. Now the centrifuge we could probably fit right here. And we'll run power out the front of that down into that side. And we will also put a couple platforms right there. I want vertical power shaft right there. You want this right here. You want a vertical power shaft right here. And then we want this connecting there and that connecting there. Now we grab this, run that across there, run that there. And now we connect this into there. And I think actually I need to connect that in to a particular spot. Yeah, I do, because that's not turning blue. Means pulling this down. Not that far, but to there. That's what we need. Now it should be blue. Great. That's all connected. It's awesome. We're burning through our metal blocks like no one's business. Gears and planks are in a decent position. Lumber's in a decent-ish position. This is going to consume all of our metal blocks again. Which is not good. I do need to unpause you so we can save some of our berries. So everything should be fine for the next 6 to 9 days. Because we only have 4 days remaining in this bad tide. Okay. We need food storage. We need lumber. We're working on. We're getting to it. Go ahead and connect that up. You don't need anybody in there because there's no power running to it. That'll get rectified sooner rather than later, though, and that will be a glorious. Now, if we can get that up and running, that would be good. Go ahead and plus that up. I want explosives, and I want them now. 4 reasons. Rip you out. Put this in a position to where I can gain access to future development potential. Knowing that I'm probably going to put a lot of materials back in this area. Potentially. Maybe. Hopefully. At least that's the plan. And put pine res in there too. Okay. That's going to take a hot minute for that all to get produced though, because we're waiting on the metal blocks, which is fine. We do have a spare beaver, so we can put you in there. Now we want to put in a small tank right here. You can be our bad water. Obtain. And you can be our bad water supply. Now that makes his life a little bit easier, and I want to give this a priority bump. I want a place to store all of those explosives when they are produced. And that means that we can start ripping into some of this real estate so we can store even more water into here, which would be grand. You are bored. You can go do productive things with your life. We're just going to rip that out. Grab this, pull this back here. Come back in this area. Clean up the rest of this, which is already marked for cutting. And we'll check on you. Fine for now. We don't need gears running. We have gears running, but we don't need that much in the way of gears running. Still doing decent on water. Not in the best of spots, but 800 units is more than enough for the 1.3 days remaining. Now, explosives are... we have 5. We have 5 explosives on hand. Beautiful. So that means we get to do a little bit of boom. Let's give this... I don't think they're building anything else right now, but we'll go ahead and put that in. We won't put anybody working over there right now. Is more than okay. We are going to run into a beaver population issue. I'm about to turn 4 or 7 of those positions back on. That's fine. We can pull them from other things. Probably pull these guys down, honestly. They are not doing they're not doing much. These guys are the breadwinners right now. So that is good for them. Those explosives are in now though, so we can hit that button and we can go ahead and put in our dam right here. And that means that that gets a priority bump. Now we can start working our way down here. And can we place dynamite down here? We cannot. That is the deepest it goes. That might not even be necessary. We want to get you on pause though. So we can get that running, and we now get to probably pull those two back. Turn all of these back on. Do the same with the explosives guy. Get these 3 up and running. That still leaves us with 3 haulers, 2 builders, and plenty of guys working all of this. I apologize for my voice. I have been sick for the past week and a half, and it is dying on me as we speak. I'm sorry about that. All right. We did it. We survived 2 bad tides back to back. We got explosives unlocked, which is beautiful. We got our other aquifer drill up and running, which is glorious. We got more power running. We got our number cruncher up and running as well. We have so much moving in a positive direction. With explosives in hand now, though, we can start moving our water, our bad water, out this way. And then we could probably even take advantage of more of this real estate or any number of things, honestly. I'm not upset by this. I am, however, going to burn what little bit of explosives we have on all of this in preparation for future planning or more water storage. Probably going to give this side a little plus up, though. I don't know if that's really worth it. With the juice is worth the squeeze there, but that will be a good thing for us to have. That gets all reconnected, but I'm going to pause you because we need haulers more than anything else right now. And I think we can probably pull back the work hours just a tad bit. And I think with the final few minutes of this episode, we'll do a little bit fun things for our beavers. We haven't given them anything fun to do during the evenings at all. So let's go ahead. Did I not put... I thought I put in a campfire for them somewhere, but maybe that was in a fever dream I had. Let's go ahead and put in a campfire or 2. Just for giggles, let's go ahead and put in a back scratcher because everybody loves a good back scratcher. And then we can probably think about expanding our housing, actually. Yeah, which is under here. We have 400 science. We have more than 400 science available to us. That means that we probably put that in right here. Right here. I'm about to expand our beaver population a bit. We're going to go a little insane, actually. I want to get industry, all of this industry right here, moved to this side. And that means a little bit of a build montage in the next episode, probably, most likely. We get industry up and running on this end, which means more power, which means we get to save a little bit of this real estate again, and we'll probably blast a little bit of this out. So we have a little bit more water stored up on this end. Would like this side to fill in. That would be awesome. Can we do that? Why are we not pumping out much water? Anyway, that's fine. Fine. So industry over here. I'm distracting myself. Means this gets cleared up. And we can start pressing towards bots. We have the science now. We have probably not the industrial backbone to meet the demand for all of the bots requirements. By that I mean we don't have a steady source of scrap metal to continue to produce the bots. We don't have a steady source of lumber to continue to produce all the things required for our bots, but we'll be able to get a few up and running, and that means that we can start sending them into the great unknown. But with that, I'm going to call this episode there, guys. We're doing pretty awesome. We survived a pretty heinous spot, a food and water shortage of my own design, but we have persevered, and we're doing great. And hopefully the next episode doesn't have anything nasty waiting for us on the back end. I don't know. But I digress. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being awesome. Thank you all for the awesome support. We broke 1,000 subscribers this past weekend as of at the moment of this recording. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of this wonderful whatever, this chaos, this fun, all the beavers. It's been an absolute pleasure to continue to produce this content for you all. And I hope you have enjoyed this a little bit of insanity as much as I have. Anyway, wherever you're on the world, make sure you guys stay nice and thirsty, nice and hydrated, nice and moist, and keep rocking in the free world. We'll catch you all in the next episode of TimberPunk 2. I'm out. See ya.